Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to talk about the Dungeons & Dragons 5i, 5th edition improved. This is the first campaign I'm running with the 2024 core rulebooks, DMG, PHB, and MM all together, which is really spectacular. I am just absolutely loving the purpose and the reason to dive into those books, to really use them. They're absolutely stunningly gorgeous. They're better than any other version that's ever. Clearly the top pinnacle version of Dungeons and Dragons that's ever existed, and I'm just really having a blast. And I'm really excited to have run. I've completed session 2, and I wanted to recap session 2 for you. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about what prompted this campaign, which is really awesome. And that was going to Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. So I went to the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. It happened in January of 2025. You can find lots of content right here on my channel, right around the January, February window, covering it in depth. But I met a new friend there, and it's been incredible. And because it was at the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo, he's in the proximity of me, right? So recently, last year, I completed 4 online campaigns, and I really and I had online campaigns before, but those online campaigns were necessary because of the plague years, and a lot of people got trapped into that online stuff. But these I actually chose and did, and they were really good, and I'm very thankful for that period. There was a little bit of a sharp edge on those, that I think I'm still processing in my in my intellect, my emotions, and my spirit. But overall, I really enjoyed those. But it is so amazing to be back to a physical table, real books, real dice, real friend, really nice and just incredible. And actually, I would say that that person that I had the 4 online campaigns with, I do think they were a real friend, but the proximity issue did genuinely make it more challenging to be friends with that person. So, and I struggle with being friends with somebody from a distance. That person was very nice, and I think it's a whole. Let me stay focused here. It's really been nice to be back at the thing, at the table with the physical books, with the physical dice. Uh, Also able to use my Legos completely. It's been incredible, right? Just a really incredibly robust. So let's get to the recap. All right. So at this point, Schleepy Stonyhorn, who is a dwarf ranger, who comes from Mount Hotenow, and his job is he's actually a pathfinder. Yeah, I know. He's a pathfinder between Mount Hotenow and Phandalin, right? And so he goes through the Neverwinter Forest, and he draws maps, right? He carries letters to Harbin Wester, the mayor of Phandalin, and then when he gets back, he actually gives the maps to multiple groups who are receiving lumber that's being delivered from Phandalin, receiving coal that is being delivered from Phandalin, and then also bringing goods down to Phandalin, that are then picked up by adventurers and by other groups. So Phandalin is a burgeoning. Phandalin is still a little village, right? It's the Stonehill Inn, but it is between Neverwinter and Waterdeep, and there's just a ton of business, right? So Sleepy Stonyhorn is very well loved within Phandalin for this job that he does, because whenever he's arriving, he's bringing contracts and good news, sometimes bad news, but he's kind of go between the human woodcutters, and get this, so I made this change, the Warforged woodcutter, or the Warforged miners. So because I was like, well, why would there be miners, in Phandalin? Mount Hotenow is going to be able to mine a lot better. And actually, I did make that part of the campaign, that the Warforged are the ones mining in Phandalin, right? So there's this mine close to Phandalin, and it's being mined by Warforged. And there are 75 Warforged that are from Eberron, and they came there from Eberron because the war was over, and what was the point of a Warforged on Eberron? And Eberron is not kind to Warforges, right? So essentially, these Warforged are essentially have journeyed away from Eberron to give themselves a chance at a new life, and they are mining. Right now, what's interesting is Mount Hotenow is up there, and these are dwarves, so they mine so much better than these Warforged. But the Warforged are making their way and doing what they can. So basically, when Sleepy Stonyhorn gets there, he goes and makes a large. He goes to the miner K4, and that is the leader of the Warforged, and he puts in an order for once a month they're going to deliver 2 tons of coal. And this excess coal is used to do refining, right? So this isn't the level of grade quality that normally they would use in Mount Hope now, but there is refining that they need to do, and so they need this coal, right? And actually, the 2 tons is a pretty small amount, but but again, it's also interesting. Like, I'm kind of thinking, well, why would Forge Lord Shram, who's the leader of the Mount Hotenow dwarves, why would he want to be ordering from this group of miners? And he may simply want to be seeing what they're able to produce and thinking about what it means to have a competing mine that close, even though that mine is not even creating even 5% of what his mine is able to do at much, much higher grades of quality. So thank you very much for letting me share this with you. I'll continue to recap session 2 of the Dungeons and Dragons Drogar campaign, starring Schleepy Stonyhorn with the hardcore player. And every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.